Welcome, everyone, to Henry County Chamber of Commerce Community Dialogue, hosted by the Engagement and Inclusion Committee. I'm Judy McMurtry, and I am the owner of JM Excel Consultant and the chair to the Engagement and Inclusion Committee. Sorry, we changed the name. Engagement and Inclusion Committee. And I have with us today to discuss the Business Resource Center mentoring program that kicked off on January 15th. And today, our special guest joining us would be Richard Sylvia, sorry if I said your name wrong, Christy Chewning, as well as Sharon Ponder. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Christy.
Sure. Good morning, Judy. Just want to thank everybody for joining us and thank Kaiser Permanente for not only being the community dialogue host, but also they are big sponsors and supporters of our Business Resource Center and our mentoring program. So as always, thank you to Kaiser Permanente for that. And I'm excited that we're going to talk about the mentoring program because we do have, you mentioned Sharon Ponder. We're going to let her introduce herself in just a second, but she's a mentor for me. She was chairman of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce the year before I was. And so I learned a lot from Sharon, and I appreciate the relationship that we've always had and sharing ideas and working together to get things accomplished for Henry County. So Sharon, if you will introduce yourself.
Hi, my name, as she says, Sharon Ponder. I am currently the Vice President of Finance at Bennett International Group. I've been here 26 years. I'm also co-owner of Extreme Fun on Wheel, which is a mobile gaming gaming company. Again, I'm the past chair of the chamber. I'm just super excited about what this program is going to provide for the members of the community.
Awesome. Richard?
Hi, Richard Sylvia here, and I actually own Richard J. Sylvia and Associates Company, focusing on transformation for corporations, helping them drive their strategic objectives and the initiatives, and then working with entrepreneurs to realize their dreams and their passions. And also just launched a new company where we focus on AI and workflow automation solutions. So very excited about that and looking forward to making that go.
Awesome. Okay, so I understand since joining the Henry County Chamber of Commerce, I learned quickly that it's been a passion of both you and Richard, both Sharon and Richard, to start this mentoring program for the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. The business center started first, which opened up, and it's been a great success. But this mentoring piece, can you, Sharon, I'm gonna start off with you. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And then I'll move to Richard so he can elaborate or expand as well. What gave you that passion and desire to open up this mentoring center for Henry County Chamber, as well as the community, business community for Henry County?
Well, I was super excited. As I stated back when I was chair, actually, I was chair-elect at the time. I have the unique perspective of, as I said before, not only being vice president of a billion-dollar transportation company, but also being a co-owner of a small business. So I could kind of see it from both perspectives of sometimes the smaller businesses, they may not feel like they're getting a lot of net tangible worth out of a chamber. So it was my goal and desire to what tangible things can we give them so when members of the community join the chamber, they feel like they are truly getting a lot of benefit out of that. And so again, looking at it from the small business perspective, I started looking at, okay, what are the things that had I not been associated with Bennett that, Extreme Fun on Wheels would have gotten out of it. And so I realized sometimes, we don't have access to a lot of the people in the community that we may necessarily need access to, as well as, again, just being able to glean some of that knowledge from some of the people in the community that's already been there, done that. So again, my goal was, as chair, to number one, start a resource center that people can come and get those tangible items and have access to different things. But also that once you're there, what can we pour into you? What can the business community that's, whether they're a part of the board of directors or just members of the community that want to be able to pour into somebody else, giving them that conduit to be able to, and that programming to be able to provide that to them. So that was really much a passion of mine.
Awesome. Wow. That's amazing. Okay, Richard, give me your take on it as well. If you can expand on what Sharon just provided for us.
Yeah, sure. So the time frame that Sharon alluded to, we created a program called 1 Henry. And within 1 Henry, we were looking to do a number of different things. One, how do we attract corporations to relocate their headquarters to Henry County? And then two, how do we work with local businesses and then startups as well? One of the main problems that we found was that 70% of the people within Henry County that we educated moved on to somewhere else, which means that you lose the revenue base, you lose that tax base, and then it's almost like a resource drain from an innovation perspective. So we sought out to create an incubator accelerator, had the funding, had most of the support, but the county wasn't really ready for it. And then so it kind of faltered. However, when I heard of the mentoring program that the Small Business Resource Center was putting together, I was like, okay, great. That's the foundation to kind of kickstart and get this started again. So I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that we're finally to the point where the community wants to support it. And there's just a lot of great things that we're going to build within the Small Business Resource Center.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. It's almost like what you two provided. Okay, we're done. No, I'm just joking. It was great information. But I do want to elaborate on a couple of questions. So how can a mentorship program strengthen our local business community? I mean, I know I do the data or the stats. I'll just give you a little bit of background on that. As far as studies do show mentorship programs improve small business survival rate. According to SCORE report, a small business with mentors experience 20% higher success rate after the first year. So that supports what you were just saying, Richard, as well as like you as well, Sharon. Numbers do support what you two have been providing for us, this information with your passion to actually have this mentoring program. So what unique values do you experience as a business leader, and not statistic? I know I'm just asking you two this question. So what unique value do you as a business leader experience with bringing merging business leaders and entrepreneurs together?
Ladies first, Sharon.
Okay, well, I think me personally, just as I just stated before, I have the unique position of being able to look at it dual fold of being involved in a small business that's still in its growing and infancy stage. Well, not quite infancy, but in the growing stages, but also being part of a company. Again, I've been at Bennett International for 26 years. So I remember coming here and we were probably about 30 or $40 million in revenue. And now we're topping $1 billion. So I've seen that growth. I've seen some of the things where we ventured into different areas that didn't make it. I've learned about making sure you have things called ROI, your return on investment, so you know where to put your capital and make sure you're getting all of that pertinent resources out of whatever you're about to put your money into. So just being able to have that unique perspective of watching the growth of Bennett, being able to foster my smaller company and being able to pour that into someone that's starting their business. Because again, I can help them at a lot of different levels of, again, being here for 26 years and watching Bennett grow and watching, Extreme Fun on Wheels starting to pivot and get some legs under it. Just helping someone not necessarily to fall into some of the pitfalls that we may have endured, whether it was a larger scale here at Bennett or on a smaller scale with Extreme Fun on Wheels.
Okay, thank you. Richard?
Yeah, and for me, I've had the great fortune of working for Fortune 50 companies and then global consulting companies. So you understand the business processes that are necessary in order for businesses to sustain themselves over a period of time. And quite often with small businesses, they don't have all of those processes to be able to help them manage the business. And quite often they have the expertise in their space relative to whatever their attributes are, so they can do the day-to-day, but they don't necessarily have that expertise to be able to run a business. And every good idea is not necessarily a business, so you need to be able to decipher what makes sense, and then how do I stay focused on the main thing and drive that to the point where it's a business that's sustainable. And quite often they don't have that expertise or all of the expertise necessary to be able to do that, right? From finance to HR to legal to just operations. Quite often they're going to need some help in at least one of those areas.
That's so true. You're absolutely right. They have to have that solid foundation infrastructure in place in order to scale. And a lot of smaller businesses don't understand that. And partnering or collaborating with others is another way that they can, and they don't understand that either. So that's what the mentoring program brings that to life for you. And by the way, Sharon and Richard are mentors. They are walking the talk. They're talking the talk, walking the walk. So they're literally not just talking that we need a mentoring program. They're actually doing it with us. So they are great mentors. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with us as well. So we really appreciate that. So another question, why is it now the right time to implement a structured mentorship program? Can you kind of elaborate a little bit with our season, what we have going on now? Some of the information you already provided kind of gives us that pathway, but if you can expand a little bit upon that, why is now the right time to implement a structured mentoring program?
I think during the pandemic, when there was just a lot of influx of unknowingness, you had a lot of people like, okay, number one, do I want to go back into an office again? There was a lot of restructuring with a lot of different companies. And so you had a lot of people deciding, you know what, let me venture out on my own. So during the pandemic, there were a lot of people that broke away from their corporate jobs and decided, now's the time. But as Richard just said, just because you're good at something or just because you enjoy doing something, that not necessarily equate to an excellent business plan. So again, now is the time that you have a lot of people that are passionate about a lot of different things, have decided to, jump out of the corporate environment and start their own businesses. Now is the time to make sure that, we can help foster it and provide some mentorship that, okay, now you have this idea of now what are next steps? And being able to provide them with, a clearer guideline of having them venture into themselves and, ask some questions to themselves that maybe they're not necessarily, because it's one thing to just get emotional about something, but now we've got to get the emotions out of it, post-pandemic, let's get the emotions out of it and make sure we put some traction to it and make sure that we got a clear guideline on where we need to go.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Yes, absolutely. Richard, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, sure. I think to echo Sharon's point, we saw a lot of first-time business owners coming out of the pandemic. However, to your point, when you look at the statistics, most of them aren't going to survive because they don't have the necessary resources in order for them to take the right steps on building the foundation and then growing.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people think that, I'll start a business and I'll automatically have customers and I'll automatically have these systems and processes in place and I'll automatically be able to market my business and everybody will understand where I am because I built a website and then they're going to come to me. And that's just not how business works. Right. So we're in a unique position to be able to help the mentees that are part of the program understand what it takes to be able to build that foundation. And then from that foundation, step by step, you grow, right? So again, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm glad that you guys are pushing this. Me, I'm jumping in with both feet, and I'm just ready to make the program grow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So with that said, the way we laid out the program as far as Henry County Chamber, do you see anything we can do better, or can you elaborate on how kickoff and the workshop went and how we have this program laid out to help support the mentors and mentees as far as the Henry County Chamber.
I like the fact that the program has structure to it. I've been involved in mentoring programs in the past where it was just a matter of pairing two people together and saying, go for it. All leaders need training. So all mentors need training. Even though I'm well-versed in my area, I also need to have training to make sure that I am a well-versed mentor. So again, just starting off the program with some structure, with some training to make sure that I'm guiding this person correctly. I was very super excited about that, as well as just putting some key metrics into place so that we can make sure that we mentor being able to calculate, how are we doing? We may think we're doing well, but what are we really getting accomplished here? So again, just super excited about, the pairing. And again, just the training, the overall training, that I was very well with that kickoff.
Okay, thank you. Richard?
Yeah, so to Sharon's point, it's not enough to just pair. So
Yeah.
most corporations have mentoring programs, but then they're just pairing and they're not necessarily building a prescriptive program to take you from one step to the next until you finish the program, right? So the fact that you've put that in place and they actually are learning as they go along, which is awesome, because every mentor is not necessarily a mentor until they understand what it takes to be able to mentor, right? And what you put in place is really a combination of mentoring and coaching, which I love, right?
Yes.
Because with coaching, it's usually short-term goals and you have a target and then that's kind of it. Where mentoring, if there's not a structured program, then you're just taking phone calls, and whenever that person needs some help or they need some guidance or whatever, then you help them out, but there's not a prescriptive way to make that happen. And so the fact that you put that structure in place allows us to coach and mentor, and I think it's going to serve the mentees well.
Yes, and we will be following up definitely to ensure that the mentees are doing what they're supposed to do, and the mentors are also being supportive of the mentees as well. So it's accountability piece that has to be added to that, because if you're not accountable, then you kind of let it drop by the wayside as well. So that is established in this program as well. And the pairing went so well in this particular program. Not taking credit, I'm a woman of faith, I have to say it. God did a great job pairing you guys together. It was really incredible to see that and the excitement that was in the room. Hopefully, I'm saying this to say that in the second quarter, we want to kick off another one, but we want to make sure this program has the bones to it, the structure to it, that it's going to be able to stand like a legacy program and not just one and done and drop off and that's it. So that's the main reason we're also having this call, or this came together to talk about this, the importance of mentoring, how we need to collaborate more. And this is a start for us to really come together and start that collaboration piece. Just like you said, Richard, incubation system, needs to be put in place. So we're going to go beyond that. But at this point, this is an excellent start. So another, Christy, you have any questions or comments?
Yeah. I was going to just kind of ask, just because I'm not involved in the mentoring program, what kinds of businesses are getting mentored, and what kind of businesses are mentoring? We know Sharon and Richard are, but just to kind of give an idea for that next group of people, of these are some of the kinds of businesses that are getting mentored, and do I fit in that? So,
well, actually, it's a variety. It's we have even a minister in as a mentor as well. So it's a nonprofit is also part of the mentoring. It's not just for profit. We have entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, as well as organizations that's been established. We also have advanced, business owners, like entrepreneurs who's been in business, who has vast experience in certain areas. They're also a part of it. So corporations like Sharon Bennett, so it's a variety. So if you really want to be successful and you want to put in the work. You have to put in the work. It's not just coming to say you're part of a program. This is not a sorority. This is not a frat. This is actually a mentoring program that we want to help you scale and grow your business. So you have to put in the work, but it is a variety. So if you're looking to grow your business, scale your business, if you're looking to maybe expand your business as far as venture out, partner with someone's, you're welcome, whether it's nonprofit, for profit, the mentoring programs for you. Did I leave out anything, Sharon or Richard?
Yeah, like I said, the young lady that I will be mentoring, she actually is getting into clothing. She started off, she loved going to Paris. She was one of those people that during, the pandemic, she was in the corporate area and decided to step away and venture out on her own. So again, I'm not saying that I am a fashionista by any stretch, but I'm hoping that I can pour into her some of the things that, I feel like and can, like you said, can help her scale her business. Because again, she have a couple of things online right now, but she's looking for opportunities to grow and to expand that into kind of an AI kind of format. So again, I think with this mentoring program, and we will be able to, as Richard said earlier, help glean, with some people, because again, he's in the AI space. So AI questions that I can tell her, I'm a numbers person, so I can answer, like I said, ROI and those kind of, return on investment type questions all day long. But when you start getting into the IT realm where I may, lean on Richard to say, hey, let me pair you up and see if we can get you, into some areas where we can, kind of help you expand in that area.
Right. And that's the beauty of having this whole group, and the beauty of all of us coming together. We met that day, we did 4-hour workshop. We started building relationship, and it wasn't just with your mentor mentee. It was a community we were building. So that way we can reach out. And the first day, Richard, you went in there and you already had your mentee connected with the water authority.
Yes.
You jumped right in right away.
Yeah, so absolutely. So to Sharon's point, I mean, there'll be a lot of cross collaboration between the mentors, right? Because not any one of us have all of the answers, but collectively we can probably answer any question that the mentees have. Too, with my mentee, she probably 20 plus years in real estate. She's done some commercial real estate, wants to get into right away, which means that there are a lot of the municipalities and the utilities that have challenges with right away when they're trying to lay pipe or put up new telecommunication systems or whatever it is that they're doing. They're typically having to deal with landowners. And it didn't dawn on them that the water authority, Georgia Power, Southern Company, the municipalities, those need to be your targets. And it just so happens that given that we were at the water authority and I sit on the board for the water authority, and I know Tony very well, it's like, you need to meet Tony. And she was just elated. So that's another thing that we as mentors can do. We can open up doors for them that they probably may not have access to. And for me, it's always access and exposure, and preparation always creates opportunity. And so we're preparing them, and we'll provide the access and exposure and create the opportunities that are going to help them, build and grow their businesses.
Now, to expand on mentors and mentees qualification, you can visit the Henry County Chamber of Commerce website. They have the mentoring program to give you all the details of it. And that would be a great place for you to start to see if mentoring and this program is meant for you. It tells you about the qualifications of a mentor and a mentee. And it also explains the goals and expectations of joining the mentor program. So I would highly encourage you to visit that website so you can learn more about this program. So with that said, too, we want to start off with another one. What specific knowledge gaps can mentors help fill for new entrepreneurs? The knowledge gap. Because we're going to always have gaps. Like you said, I know you just mentioned that not only just coming together with one another, are you able to introduce them to a different network outside of Henry County Chamber or outside of the mentoring program to help fill the gap, or recommend books or whatever you may have?
Yes, I will definitely say, between connections, like I said, between Richard and I, and I'm thinking through most of the people that were in the room. Our next chair of the chamber is also a mentor. So again, just being in that room, being able to connect and being able to kind of share and expand. One of the great things that we had when all of us were sitting in the room is just like you said, it wasn't just a matter of you sitting with your mentor mentee. You had to stand up. You had to kind of tell, something about your business and your passion. And so people can kind of get an understanding. So again, you now have a connection to everyone in the room, as well as whatever connections your mentor has to be able to expound you to. And again, like I said, every mentor in that room has an expertise. Just like I mentioned before, we may not have all of the knowledge. So again, like I said, my great strength is going to be the financial part and problems of connectivity, because I do sit on quite a few boards here within the Henry County and the South Metro area. So again, being able to give exposure, help with some connections, and help with the financial aspect. But again, like I said, making sure that if marketing, as we go through your business model and we see marketing as one of those areas that you may really need some focus on. Again, I have some connections to let me introduce you to this person. I think this will be an excellent person to kind of help you in those fields. So I think just kind of making sure that whatever gaps that I can't as a mentor, that I can help expose her to some other people in the arena that can, kind of help her in those areas so that all those gaps can be filled.
Okay, awesome. Richard?
Yeah, no, I agree. So the collective is going to allow us to be able to fill whatever gaps they have, right? So it won't come from any one mentor, but it'll come from the collective collaboration of the mentors. And so I also have the good fortune of sitting on boards and with college, as well as with colleges and universities across the Metro Atlanta area. And so they talk about, the 6 degrees of separation. Well, here in the Atlanta Metro, it's usually about 2 degrees of separation, right? I'm going to know somebody that knows somebody else that can help.
Right.
And with that attitude, we're going to be able to, again, help these mentees prosper, for sure. Guaranteed.
Thank you. I am so excited about this program, and I am so excited about when we walked into that room in the kickoff and everybody showed up, and you have several board members of Henry County Chamber of Commerce that are mentors that stepped up and decided to be mentors. Not just you, Richard, and Sharon, like you mentioned, Morel, and Anya is also on the board, and she's a mentor. And it's amazing. Oh, and by the way, I'm on the board as well. So it's amazing to see that commitment from, it starts at the top, right? When you talk about mentorship, it starts at the top. So you're looking at the board of directors. Then you got Joe, of course, he's all on board, Joe, the CEO. And then you have his department, as far as Barbara and Trinity, they're all on board supporting this important initiative. So when you have that community and that structure in place, it can't help but be successful, and you have people committed to wanting to do this, So with that said, what do you think our next step is going to be as far as, the mentoring program? You mentioned an incubator kind of program. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that one, Richard? I just want to see all the great things Henry County Chamber of Commerce and Henry County is doing collaboratively together. So
I think what makes most sense is to really kind of hone in and focus on what we're doing from this mentorship program, right? Let's get our legs under us. Let's probably go through a couple of cohorts.
Okay.
And that will allow the word to spread that we're doing more with the chamber than just having meet and greets. Right, because quite often people want to know what's in it for me.
Correct.
And if I'm paying my money for membership, then what are the benefits? What do I get out of it, right? And so we need to continue to show that. Yeah. And I think once we're able to do that, then we're good. I think we're also in a very unique position within the county to be able to build this incubator accelerator now because of the collaboration, the cohesion between the economic development organization, the municipalities, the county, the board of commissioners, and then the large businesses like Bennett and EMC, and then the Atlanta Motor Speedway, right? And then the water company. So on the board with the chamber, we have representation of all of the mayors, the executive directors of healthcare, the school system. We have everyone from a appointed political position or one that was chosen, an elected official. And it's just a very tight-knit group of leaders.
Mhm.
And so I think right now we need to absolutely take advantage of the fact that there is great cohesion and build upon this mentoring program one layer at a time. I don't think that we're trying to jump out too quickly.
Yeah.
Because I think that success breeds success.
Correct.
I think that if we're successful with a couple of cohorts, then it'd be easy enough to be able to broach that conversation again and then kick off and then let's go.
I know I get ahead of myself. I am a visionary.
No, listen. We're going to stay focused, right? We're going to stay
Of
disciplined.
course.
We're going to be consistent. And
Yes, we
once
are.
we're able to do those three things
Mhm.
over a period of time, then that shows everybody how serious you are.
Yes.
And the fact that you have some of the board members that are participating in the program and
Mhm.
serving as mentors, I think that's key, right? You
Yes.
can't have a mentorship program that's put on by the chamber and the board members aren't part of it, right? So there are going to be other board members that we're going to rope in. They don't know it yet.
Encourage.
We're going to rope it. Well, encourage, persuade, whatever word we're going to rope them in. Right? And we're going to make sure that they participate as well, because the more we have, the stronger we are.
That's true.
So
Sharon,
Judy,
oh, go
let's
ahead.
talk about when that next cohort is, because we've got some questions about that. We've already got people interested. So when are we going to take applications for that next cohort?
Okay, we're looking at second quarter
Okay.
of this year. Again, like Richard stated, we were just trying to make sure that as we put measures in place, because I'm reaching out to mentees now to find out what is it they want to scale. We have to measure it. We have to see growth, you know, and so we're going to make sure, are they attending the sessions that's required? Because you have to get in contact with your mentor at least once a month. So, and then what is your goals and objectives? So I'm going to reach out to the mentees this week to determine what are they starting with. So that way we could start measuring. And it takes about, I want to say, anywhere from 6 months to a year as far as to really see some growth, you know, some activity if they're putting in the work. So that's the piece right there. And that's the accountability piece that's going to be supporting the mentors. And it's not just having the mentors try to reach out to the mentees, or, you know, because it's got to go both ways. And this is something kind of new for us. So I'm not new at mentoring or being mentored, because it's embedded in me. I've been mentored and mentee for a long time. So that's why this is a passion for me as well. And once we do that, we're looking at the second quarter to start another program. You know, we just have to, I don't want to burden the current mentors. So like Richard said, we have to encourage others for the second cohort to step up and be mentors. So the more we have testimonies, the more we have progress we show and the success, it'll encourage others to be a part of this and want to grow. I hope that answered your question, Christy.
It did.
Okay.
It did. As one of our friends who is actually one of the attendees, she's always talking about being in the room. So we encourage everyone to be in the room and be a mentee or mentor. So yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And everybody was pretty excited with this. I'm not sure, Richard and Sharon, can you elaborate a little bit how your mentees reached out to you? Have you been in contact with them since the kickoff meeting? It started January 15th.
Yes, I've already had a conversation with my mentee, as well as my mentee actually, uses the Small Business Resource Center quite a bit. So that's where our next meeting will be. I have it on my calendar. So we made sure prior to leaving, we exchanged contact information, already set our next meeting. So again, not sit here and leaving out and then trying to remember to go back. We made sure we already scheduled our meeting, and we will be meeting at the Small Business Resource Center. So again, just utilizing, the resources that we have now with the chamber. So again, just super excited to be able to utilize the whole gamut from the mentorship to being able to utilize our Business Resource Center as a meetings place.
Awesome. Richard?
Yeah, and for me, so my mentee and I, we've probably communicated with each other at least 3 or 4 times already, and we've already had a live session. And so what I wanted to see was their business plan. Like, send me your business plan. Let me understand what it is that you're trying to do. And within the business plan, there were like 4 different services that they wanted to provide. And then so I gave them a homework assignment. So I used to run innovation for HPE Global. And what I do because we have thousands of ideas that would come in from all over the world. And so what we would do was have them build out a lean canvas. I don't know if people are familiar with building out a lean canvas. So it's like a 1-pager. And you can typically build your business plan within the 1 page so people could truly understand what it is that you're trying to do. Like, what problem are you trying to resolve? Who are your target audiences? How are you going to deliver these services? What are your fixed and variable costs, right? What does your competition look like? What does your unique value proposition? What is it that you bring to the market that's different from what others are doing? And so there are 9 different areas that they need to focus on. And out of the 4 services that they wanted to deliver, we need to build 1 for each. And then let's figure out where your true strengths, attributes, superpowers are. And then that's the one that we're going to focus on first. And then so we're going to take a very narrow focus on one of these services, build the foundation for it, and let's see if it's something that's really a business that you can drive. And if so, then you may not need to do the other 3.
Right.
But if you have passion to do the other 3, then we'll take the next one and we'll continue to grow. But you can't spread yourself so thin, right? It's great to be able to go deep and wide, but not out of the gate.
Correct.
Out of the gate, you have to stay narrowly focused so you can build that foundation to be able to then move to your next step. Right. So they already have a homework assignment. I think we're meeting either this week or next week, so I can see the lean. Right. Let's see your lean canvas, and then let's walk through that, and we're going to iterate through it until it's extremely solid and they know exactly what it is that they need to do with that specific service offering.
Okay, well, then I may reach out to you for maybe to do our presentation of the lean process to the mentees. No, just the mentees. I'm saying, you know what I mean? Hey, what I'm saying is that sounds great. If we want to be successful, we got to be successful together. So I'm just saying that may be something that we can utilize. I mean, I'm always to get better. And I'm not the one that has all the answers, like you said, too. So if maybe we can look at something to that effect.
Yeah, I can share it with you, right? Because a lot of times people get lost in their business plans.
Yes,
and
do that.
And you can live in the business plan and then you're not doing anything with really building the business.
That's
so
true.
I wanted to take them out of their business plan, even though I went through the 40 pages with a fine-tooth comb. I said, just look at the comments, answer the questions, but I don't want you to make any changes to this at all. I'm going to send you a lean canvas template, and I'm going to send you one that I created for my business around AI and workflow automation solutions. So you can see exactly what this looks like.
Okay.
Right? So take that first service offering, go through that process, talk to 2 people that you truly respect and that will give you honest feedback. Share that with them. And then by the time you do that, you and I have a session. We've kind of gone through a lot of the weeding out process of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, because you'll take some of that input from what they provided you that makes sense for that specific service offering. And then we're going to figure out what our next steps are to go execute. Right. So,
well, maybe I'll sit down with you, Richard. Maybe I'll sit down with you, and then I'll understand so I can share that with others. So
sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's easy.
Yes, I'll do that, because I want to be able to share that great knowledge and that process with others in the mentorship program. So then that way they're able to maximize their time with their mentor.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That was amazing. Thank you. You two are amazing. I really appreciate it. And you too, Christy, always. I enjoy spending time with you on once a month on Mondays, and beyond. So thank you. Any questions we have from the audience for Facebook, or anyone in the chat, anyone participating on this webinar? Do we have any questions from you?
While we're waiting for some to come in, let's talk about, we've talked about the program, and we're talking about the longevity of it. And once the mentees have completed this year-long process, we're going to still be keeping up with them, seeing how their businesses are growing. What do you see the future after someone leaves the program?
The thing is, we're hoping that the mentors, as they grow and develop and we see them scaling and expanding or just growing their business, that they come back and be a mentor. Because once you pour into somebody and then it's time for them to pour out as well, they can still expand while they're giving back as well. So we would definitely keep up with them, as far as checking on them and see how things are going. But we're hoping they would come back as well to be a mentor. Okay. So that way we can expand this and we can share and we can grow together as a team in a community, Yeah. I don't want to, we're not looking for it to be like boxed in and then, okay, you're done. Here's your certificate. Thank you for completing. Bye now. No, you're part of this group. Let's expand this.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is we're actually meeting the mentees where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So some of these, as Judy mentioned, they're just coming out of the gate and they're brand new to this. Others have businesses and they're just needing to figure out how I grow and expand my business. Mm-hmm. So once they're going through this first iteration with their mentor, mm-hmm. then they're looking to probably take that next step. And they may come back and be a mentee again for a different mentor that can help them get to that next level that they're trying to reach. Right. So I don't know that it goes away.
Right.
I think what happens is they continue to take steps within the program to build the businesses.
That's true. Exactly. And that's what we're looking at. And the chamber they provide that. I mean, not just meetings, it's getting connected with other people. And then they can do partnerships or they can do collaborations or they can just meet up and see how they can grow, and learn that way. But I have a question from the webinar panelists. So I'm very interested and like to find a mentor who is familiar with my specific business of food and beverage. Is it possible? Well, if you join the mentorship program, we will have to, look and see what we can do to help you out with that. But anything's possible. We have 800 members with the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. And again, like Richard mentioned, the 6 degrees of separation may not be able to find you a direct mentor for that particular area. I can't guarantee that. However, we know enough people that we can kind of point you in the right direction if you're part of the mentorship program. And the other one says, I just wanted to share that I am a current mentee, and I completely agree with everything that's being discussed here today. The pairing was absolutely divine, and I am thoroughly excited to continue this journey and also get to know the other mentors and mentees. This number, she's in the cohort. I will also be joining next year as a mentor. See, she's already. That's nice. Regine Bryant. Yeah, thank you. So nice. That's wonderful. So she's already letting us know. Thank you very much.
One of the things that I'm excited about with this mentor program is when I was chair, I wanted to make sure that the board or whether it was Joe or anyone else, we were pouring our ideas on the chamber members or chamber partners of what programming we thought they needed. One of the first things that I had Joe do was to work on a survey that went out to our membership to see what is it that you're needing. We don't need to keep doing, things on marketing if raising capital is what you're needing. So my goal is through this mentoring program, we as a chamber can start refining and defining our programming. So if we're finding out that 90% of the people that are coming through this program are now concerned with AI and how that affects their business, then that's where we need to focus on. If we're finding out a lot of these people that are coming straight out of the gate have no idea where to start getting their capitalization from, then that's where we need to go. But my goal is not only to, to be a mentor, but again, to glean from the people that are coming through the program of what is it that you're needing, again, so as we're starting to work on our development of work for the chamber, we can say, okay, guys, I know we were headed down the direction in this area, but through the mentor program, there's a lot of people that need whatever that is. So we as a chamber can start making sure our partners are getting the information, the programming, and the training and the classes that they need based off of what we're hearing their needs are.
Perfect. So we're going to be capturing this. I'm just writing it down so I know I have to capture what the needs are. So I'll be reaching out to the mentors as well to see what the needs are. And then that way we can start. Okay, we could definitely do that. I like research anyway. Why not? So this is great. I love it.
Yeah.
So let's see. No other questions. I don't think Barbara has any on Facebook. Barbara, no questions. Let's see. Okay. So with that said, this was really, really a great session. I appreciate you two joining us, and I definitely appreciate you being a part of the mentorship program. It's just an honor that you spoke this and you participate. You didn't just tell somebody, I want a mentoring program, and you had nothing to do with it. So I thank you for raising your hand and say, hey, I walk the walk, I talk the talk, I'm here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I see great things for us.
I do too.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. So for me, it's not, I don't see it as a burden, it's a responsibility.
Yes.
I love that.
I live in this community, and so I need to see this community do well.
Whatever. Okay, I'm writing that as a quote, not a burden, but a responsibility. Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been blessed with a lot of different talents and attributes and superpowers, and what's the sense in me just keeping them to myself and not sharing, right? So the weakest link is the one that we need to pay attention to make that person strong. So then the collective is strong.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, just dropping all these gold nuggets over here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Richard. Sharon, you have anything else before we close out for us?
Again, I've always said, well, not my quote, but they said that either you create your narrative or someone will create your narrative for you. So I think we are a chamber that are setting the narrative that we are about our partners. We're about building the business community. Whether you are a chamber member or you're a business partner in this community, we want to partner with you. We want to help you because you being successful is us being successful. So again, we're ready to, minus the incubator center right now, whatever resources we have, we want to help provide those for you. So again, we can just make Henry County be great. So again, I'm super excited to be a part of this program and just look forward to my mentor, my mentee, and me being mentored through her. So again, I'm just super excited about the program.
Okay, awesome. All right, so thank you very much, everybody. Christy, you have anything before we close out?
I just want to remind everybody that we do have a more programming coming up. Of course, we do this every month. And if anybody has any ideas for something that needs to come to the community, Judy and I would love to take those suggestions. And we are working on a culture
Innovation Summit.
An innovation summit, trying to get all those words out.
Yep.
And so we want to invite everybody to that. That is also going to be part of growing your businesses and learning more about what culture you might have inside your business, whether you're a one-person business that your culture is perceived by your clients, your customers, or if you're a little bit bigger to a corporate business. So we really hope that you guys will join us in that. That's going to be in June. And so
June
we're really
18th.
June 18th. We're really excited about that. And as always, again, we can't talk about Kaiser Permanente enough for what they do for our community, because they're big supporters. So thank you, Kaiser Permanente, for sponsoring our community dialogue.
Absolutely. And thank you once again. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day and the rest of your week. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Facebook, as well as thank you, webinar participants. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.